It's the last two events for the teams at the Brazil CrossFit Championship, as just two of them are looking to move on to Madison for a chance to compete for the Affiliate Cup at the 2021 No Bull CrossFit Games. I'm Sean Woodland with Annie Sakamoto, and after 2 days of competition and 4 events, this is where we stood. Fourmixx, they have been dominant. They have a total of 395 points out of a possible 400, and Villa Luro is just 5 points up on Q21 for that final qualifying spot. Event number 5, one of the longest tests for the teams of the weekend. The first mixed gender pair, they do a 1,000 meter row and a 70 meter handstand walk. Then the second pair, they get a shorter row, 700 meters, but a longer handstand walk. And no surprise, it was Fourmixx Brazil. They go out and pick up another win, 221 total reps.
Yeah, Fourmixx, who was the #1 seed out of the quarterfinals, they only have 1 second place finish so far this weekend. Every other finish has been a first place. But here's what I love the most about this team, Sean. They are an older team. 3 of their 4 members are in their 30s. And yes, I guess now being in your 30s means you are an older team. But really fun to see this team out of Brazil be so dominant, especially with those almost masters athletes.
Yeah, they have lived up to the hype. But while they were winning the event, Q21, they finished ahead of Villa Luro, and that means that they were able to close the gap in the overall standings. Fourmixx Brazil, they've essentially clinched 495 out of a possible 500 points, but we are tied for second. Villa Luro and Q21 coming into event 6, tied at 455 points. Event number 6, completely opposite as event 5. It was a sprint. The Gretel and Ingrid relay, 95 pounds for the women, 135 pounds for the men. Let's get you to our featured matchup for the teams as we figure out who is going to the CrossFit Games. Joel Gadet and Neil Maddox on the call, and they start with the box assignments presented by CBDMD.
This is the final event for the teams here at the Brazilian CrossFit Championship. It is the semifinal for South America. Fourmixx Brazil, the closest thing we have to a super team in this semifinal. They are in first place overall, top left corner of your screen. Then Villa Luro, top middle, and Q21, the 2 Argentinian teams. They are right now tied for second place. 455 points between them for Gretel and Ingrid here for event number 6. That is 10 rounds of 3 clean and jerks and 3 bar facing burpees, and then 10 rounds of 3 snatches and 3 bar facing burpees. Neil, this is a relay race basically. Female goes, male goes, female goes, male goes, and it is a sprint to the finish, particularly for those 3 teams on the top of your screen.
You gotta sprint. If you want this, you gotta push your limits, especially with your team. You don't want to let down your teammates, so you're going to push the limits so they can get on that bar, so they can pass the torch and hopefully get that victory.
It's 95 pounds for the women, 135 pounds for the men. Fourmixx Brazil has 495 points. They have a 40-point lead over Q21 and CrossFit Villa Luro. Those 2 teams are tied. They have a 105-point lead over Team Treta at the bottom of your screen, bottom left. So the 3 teams that are mathematically in contention right now are the 3 at the top of your screen, and there is no last chance online qualifier for the teams. So it quite literally comes down to how bad do you want it if you're CrossFit Villa Luro or CrossFit Q21. Villa Luro has been in games positioning, in the top 2 positioning after the last 2 events. So the question is, can they be there at the end of the day?
Yeah, Q21, their female is really pushing on these burpees. And if you see, she's slightly ahead of CrossFit Villa Luro.
A couple of Argentinian teams here. Got a ton of experience on both of those teams, Villa Luro and Q21. Villa Luro is led by Delfina Ortuño, who was on Team Big Friends and also Team Samurai Games competitor back in 2018. She's actually been to the games 2 times. Pablo Servini, who's, if you've taken an L1 course in the States, he may have taught it for you, is their alternate and kind of their coach, so to speak, for Villa Luro. Q21 is another team with a ton of experience, though. Augustina Og, Sabrina Del Justina, those 2 women have been in a ton of high-level CrossFit competitions. All 4 of the members from Q21 also have full-time jobs. So it's a great example of being able to have high levels of fitness and high levels of life outside the gym as well.
Yeah, that takes a lot of discipline to have a full-time job and to stay committed to your training so you can be able to compete to win a chance for the CrossFit Games. Hats off to them.
Check out the red bar at the top of the screen. That tells you the progress of each of these teams as they go through this here. It is the male-female pair doing Gretel and then the male-female pair doing Ingrid. That is clean and jerks and then snatches. Gretel and Ingrid are both new benchmark workouts. They came around at the beginning of March this year. And Neil, it's always fun when CrossFit does that. New benchmarks to measure yourself against as you progress through CrossFit.
Oh yeah, that's always fun whenever we come up with these different workouts. Something different to challenge ourselves. Not only that, throw it in the hopper for later down the road when they want to pull it out of a bag of tricks for future events. But what's impressive is Q21 is already off. Their male is already onto the barbell. Their female passed the torch.
Still doing those clean and jerks here. It's the clean and jerks and then the snatches.
Yep, basically.
Time cap
those
event.
Guys,
20 minutes.
Yep, those guys are pushing right now on that bar right now. So.
Q21 has been on the doorstep before, was a regional team back in 2018, finished third at the time, wound up finishing second after the Columbia Parceros were disqualified. Samurai team, Código CrossFit, wound up with the game's ticket. So Q21 was that close in 2018. How close do you want to be in 2021 is the ultimate question. Villa Luro is a team that, we talked about Pablo Servini. They're a team that has really worked through COVID quarantines, and Pablo gave them a ton of props for the effort that they've put in to be able to train this year in a country that mostly has been on lockdown throughout COVID and the pandemic, and really this is their first competition on this level for a gym that's been around since 2013. So a huge opportunity for Villa Luro trying to join Fourmixx Brazil as a team, one of the two teams earning a games ticket out of the Brazilian CrossFit Championship.
Fourmixx Brazil just really looks strong. They're just really out top left corner. Their male just looks consistent. Top left corner, they're running away with it. But if we go back to Q21, I know they got to that barbell first. The male got onto that barbell, but can he hold on to that lead to take that top spot?
That's Fabio Takiki you talked about in the awesome shorts for Fourmixx Brazil. 31-year-old out of Brazil. I admire this about him, Neil. He has said before that most people admire Rich Froning and Matt Fraser in this sport as men. He said he most admires Jacob Heppner, his words, not mine, because he's a crazy man.
So that tells me a little bit probably about his training philosophy.
And maybe his flamboyancy. You throw that in with the shorts that he's wearing. He brings some personality to the team.
Oh, big time, big time. You got to have that, right?
And Takiki also has a couple of degrees, electrical engineering and phys ed. He is a judo black belt in addition to his prowess here on the CrossFit floor.
Now, I have a question for you. Which one would you prefer to do if you're on this team? Would you want to do the clean and jerks, or would you like to do the snatches?
I'm a snatch guy because it's one movement. The clean and jerk just in my head mentally, Neil. I feel like I have to do two things. I don't know where you're at.
Well, you see, I'm a snatch guy as well. So if we're a team, you'd take the snatch. I'd go with the clean and jerks, but yes.
Q21 and CrossFit Villa Luro. This is the competition to watch between those two teams. Fourmixx Brazil has it, unless disaster were to strike here, in the bag. They are going to go to the CrossFit Games out of this team competition. It comes down to Villa Luro and Q21 as far as who can get it done for that second spot.
Yeah, right now, Q21 passed it to their female. She looks really smooth on her snatches. She's popping it over her. The only time she's really touching is on the way down to just stop the momentum, and she's pretty quick and staying low on her burpee, so they're off to a good lead.
That's Della Justina for Q21 in the pink pants. She was on that 2018 regional team we talked about that fell just short of making it to the CrossFit Games.
Yeah, you just got to find a rhythm. It's 10. We're going for 10 rounds, so you have to find a good rhythm, a good pace. You just don't want to slow down in the middle. You want to keep an even pace from the beginning to the middle, and then hopefully be able to pick it up towards that end, round 9, round 10.
Q21's been so consistent, Neil. second place after event 1, then they had a third, a second, a fourth place in event 4, and then third place in event 5. It is that fourth place in event 4 right now that has them in a tie with Villa Luro. Fourth place, like that is the level of hair we're splitting here between these two teams, is that a fourth place could cost you a trip to the CrossFit Games.
I know, the stakes are high. And when the stakes are high, you gotta be able to close the gap and close the distance. And it's just pushing yourself each and every round. Not only that, each and every workout.
Villa Luro is this team of former athletes from across the spectrum, be it rugby, be it soccer or football.
All the different disciplines, so they all get to bring something different to the table.
Regional athletes as well from previous years. Lago Giraldez was on the Toluca team that finished 9th at the Latin American Regional back in 2018, one of their male athletes. We told you already about Delfina Ortuño, who was a games athlete with that Samurai Codigo CrossFit team back in 2018. And we say Samurai, they are middle bottom of your screen. That is a different Samurai team than went to the games in 2018. It's the same literal team. It's from Codigo CrossFit, but it is a different grouping of individuals trying to go and show out for the legacy of the team name Samurai. This is a big stage for them to be able to go out and compete and really show well, live up to the name of their gym and continue to build a team that will be back on this platform, hopefully when we're competing in person next year, Neil, and will have gained valuable experience to maybe be one of those top 2 teams next year.
As you can see, they have the potential. They're just going, they're probably lacking just a little bit of experience, but with this experience this year, they have something to build off next year. They could look at, basically go to the drawing board, look at what the team weakness was, work on those weaknesses, keep those strengths, come back better, stronger, and then hopefully vie for a better position.
Q21 in the meantime trying to fight for that game spot right now. Mato Vizcarra, he's the captain of that Q21 team. They call him a big bear. He's going to work on these snatches, top right corner of your screen, while Villa Luro lags behind. So we've got a game spot up for grabs here, Neil. Two teams that, if they only could see where the other one was standing right now.
Oh man, only if they could. But right now, Q21, I'm really impressed. They have had their foot pressed down on that, basically pedal to the metal the whole time. And now they're basically in the lead. And so basically all these other teams are looking in the rear view.
How hard is this as a competitor, Neil? When you know you have another team to beat, you are tied with a team coming into this event. You don't know where they are, so you have to run your own race while running a race against another team you can't see. You're fighting an invisible enemy. As an athlete, how do you do that?
Well, the biggest thing, I'm just thinking, how can I beat the best version of myself? So when I'm out there, I'm challenging, one, how hard can I push each and every rep? And then if I need a quick breather, take my breather basically between the burpee and then put the pedal on the metal on those snatches, and then hopefully finishing that fast time that will lead basically to a victory overall.
Almost 15 minutes gone by here in this event that is time capped at 20.
This workout, you could just see, it just starts to hurt. I mean, I know that feeling right now. They're digging deep right here. I haven't tried this workout, so it's going to be curious. I want to try this tomorrow to see how it's going to feel, because they're showing me exactly how it's going to feel.
I mean, the hard thing about this, Neil, is you're doing back-to-back benchmark workouts. That's what makes it difficult, is it's not necessarily one event. It's 2 events, and then you're doing it in a relay format.
Basically, yes. And when you have to do that, basically turn it over to whatever athlete is strongest at that movement.
Yeah, it's knowing your strengths. It's knowing who can fly at a clean and jerk. It's knowing who can fly at a snatch and then pairing them up in the right spot. You know, Vizcarra, they call him a big bear. He is flying, though, for Q21. The burpees are no absolute obstacle. Q21 is seconds away from securing a game spot. Those 2 teams are tied. They cannot mathematically be caught by Team Treta or anybody else behind them. It's Villa Luro or Q21 along with Fourmixx Brazil. And Q21, this is unofficial, but it is Q21 from Argentina. All Vizcarra has to do is finish these burpees, and it looks like Q21 in 12 minutes and 15 seconds, Neil Maddox will avenge that third place into a second place finish in 2018 and punch a ticket to Madison.
Wow. Wow.
That's got to be an awesome feeling for Q21 down in Quilmes, Argentina. Fourmixx Brazil, they finished second of these 6 teams in the event. They have already won. We pretty much know that out of the Brazilian CrossFit Championship teams. That's huge for them. And that's not to go unnoticed here, Neil. They will be the first Brazilian team to ever go to the CrossFit Games. Chance to represent their country on that stage in that light. That's a big deal.
Oh, that's going to be an awesome feeling. I mean, right now, I mean, you're still, they're probably at home still wondering where we at. But once they know exactly what the final results are, they're going to be like, we're headed to the big show. And now it's going to be, can we show on the big show?
And Villa Luro just goes absolutely all out. It is not going to be enough, most likely. Again, our results are all unofficial, but we know they're going head-to-head with Q21. Tip your cap for the effort that Villa Luro threw down here. Fourmixx Brazil and Q21 look to be in the position to take the 2 game spots for the teams out of the Brazilian CrossFit Championship. Fourmixx Brazil also, we said it's the closest thing to a super team because of the names that are on it coming out of Eto CrossFit. Susana Eto is a masters athlete who's been around for a long time as Team Treta here finishes their final snatches into their final burpees. Anita Pravacci will finally get her chance to go to the CrossFit Games. 6 times a regionals athlete, the 34-year-old master. She will move her way into the CrossFit Games and head to Madison here. 12 minutes and 30 seconds for Fourmixx Brazil. Now Team Treta done in 14:06. And it comes down to Team Samurai here. Neil to finish strong. You know what it's like, having to dig down deep here. It gets hard, it hurts, but you just have to gut it out and finish.
I mean, if you just look at this overall, Fourmixx Brazil, I mean, these guys just dominated all weekend long. If I look at workout 1, first place, workout 2, second place, workout 3, first place, workout 4, first place, workout 5, first place.
Is it first place? Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. That's just domination right there. And they deserve to win a ticket to the CrossFit Games. Congratulations.
Yeah, and it's not like Latin America hasn't shown out well on a stage like the CrossFit Games before. You just have to go back to Team Big Friends Recoleta. In 2017, they had a top 20 finish. They showed very well after they dominated at the Super South Regional. So Fourmixx Brazil, hey, throw your hat in the mix. Go mix things up in Madison and let the chips fall where they may.
Yep. I mean, Team Samurai, I mean, they put on a good fight all weekend long, and they're still fighting at it right now. They still can, you know, they're still competing against other teams. So placement is going to be key because that's going to give you confidence going into next year on how you can improve your team and how you can line up against other teams to get yourself to a top spot.
Yeah, Samurai, of course, from Código CrossFit, who won the Spirit of the Games award. Their motto is respect and honor. It's a different cast of characters for this Samurai team, but they want to live by respect and honor. They've all trained separately because of COVID, but their team has kept them united, and in 15 minutes and 52 seconds, they finish event 6. That caps it for the teams at the Brazilian CrossFit Championship. Q21 gets it done head-to-head. Fourmixx Brazil caps off a great weekend at the BCC.
Q21, they win the battle between them and Villa Luro. They get the win, 12-25. Fourmixx Brazil, they finish in second. That's the lowest they finished the entire competition. Final standings, Fourmixx Brazil, 590 out of a possible 600 points. That's a dominant performance, and it's Q21. They get ahead of CrossFit Villa Luro in that final event by 15 points, and they are joining Fourmixx Brazil at the CrossFit Games. And Fourmixx Brazil, man, again, 5 wins out of 6 events, or I'm sorry, 4 wins out of 6 events. They never finished lower than second, and they lived up to the hype. They're going to be fun to watch at the games.
Right, like you said, John, they absolutely dominated all weekend. If you actually look at their 2 second place finishes and you combined the total seconds where they, that they finished in second place, they were only 18 seconds off of a perfect score weekend. This is the first team from Brazil to qualify for the games. super exciting, obviously, out of the Brazil CrossFit Championships. Like you said, cannot wait to see this team at the games this year.
Hopefully they bring some of their fans with them, because that would be a great environment at the team competition at the CrossFit Games. That's it for our team coverage for the Brazil CrossFit Championship, but be sure to check out the rest of our coverage from that semifinal event, as we have featured matchups for both the men and the women in events 5 and 6, and we also have complete coverage from the other 2 semifinal events taking place this weekend, the CrossFit German Throwdown and the CrossFit Lowlands Throwdown. For Annie Sakamoto, I'm Sean Woodland. Be sure to keep checking in on the CrossFit Games YouTube channel and on the Facebook page for CrossFit Games for all of our coverage of the 2021 No Bull Virtual Semifinals.